Welcome back to From the Pages of Wrestling 89, the Winter 1989 issue. This is one of those issues where you can feel the business shifting while you're reading it. Not in hindsight, not looking back, but right there on the page where the tone swings from admiration to criticism, from celebration to outright doubt, and that's exactly why this one matters. This is late 80s wrestling at full speed, with the WWF on top, the NWA fighting for identity, and the magazines themselves acting like battlegrounds for opinion, not just reporting. The issue opens by pulling you into that feeling immediately through the front matter, and before you even get to a single wrestler, you're dropped into the culture. Full page merchandise spreads, PWI shirts, caps, buttons, the kind of stuff you mailed away for and waited weeks to get. And right next to that, the subscription push, not just for one magazine, but the full ecosystem, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, Inside Wrestling, The Wrestler, all bundled together like you're not just a reader, you're part of something bigger. That matters because this issue isn't just content, it's part of a system that kept fans connected month after month, issue after issue. Then the magazine settles into its rhythm and it starts with the opening bell, where Stanley Weston takes it back to the beginning, talking about how wrestling hooks you early, how it becomes part of your life, and how figures like Bruno Sammartino and Arnold Skaaland weren't just wrestlers, they were anchors to that feeling. It's warm, it's reflective, and it sets you up perfectly because what follows is anything but soft. The feedback section hits next, and this is where the voice of the fans comes through loud and clear. You've got letters arguing about tag team rules, confusion over championships, complaints about violence in storylines, debates about whether wrestling is losing its structure, and even emotional responses like the letter to Nikita Koloff following personal tragedy. And buried in there is one of the most telling ideas of the whole issue, a fan arguing that the WWF versus NWA war isn't something coming in the future. It's already happening. That's the mindset of the time. Fans are watching this like a real competition, like territories and companies are clashing in real time. The Newsline comes in and brings everything back to the chaos of the business itself. Stories bounce all over the place. Andre the Giant getting into a confrontation with the cameraman. Captain Lou Albano stepping into mainstream entertainment with television appearances, injuries, quick title changes, inconsistent rules, and that constant sense that no matter how big wrestling gets, it's still unpredictable, still messy, still operating in its own world. It's not polished, and that's part of the appeal. The magazine keeps shifting tone with In This Corner, where Roy London tells a personal story about being just inches away from living the dream, literally too small to make it into the ring, despite being right there, right on the edge. It's one of those pieces that grounds everything, reminding you that for every superstar, there are countless people who almost made it, who lived close enough to touch it, but never crossed that line. Then the energy flips again with Managers Forum, and now you're in full character mode. Teddy Long comes in loud, confident, bragging about his teams, running down opponents, calling out names, taking shots at everyone from the Road Warriors to the Steiners. And this is where the magazine leans into that kayfabe voice, letting the personalities speak the way fans expect them to. It's not analysis, it's attitude. And now you hit the core of the issue, the feature block, and this is where everything starts to collide. The Crossfire feature on Lex Luger frames him as something dangerous, something changing. This isn't the polished athlete anymore. This is someone leaning into brutality, into rule breaking, into a different version of himself, and the discussion around him reflects that uncertainty. Is this evolution or is this a problem? The magazine doesn't give you a clean answer. It just puts the question in front of you. And then Head to Head takes one of the smartest concepts you could have in this era, Tully Blanchard versus Arn Anderson, a team so perfectly in sync that imagining them against each other feels almost wrong, and yet that's exactly what makes it compelling. Experts break it down, styles, tendencies, psychology, and it becomes less about who would win and more about understanding what made them great together in the first place. And then the issue takes a hard turn into something darker with the piece on the great Kabuki, Gary Hart, and the great Muta. This is presented almost like myth, like something out of a different world, a pact, a sacrifice, an agreement that binds Muta to Hart, with Hart benefiting from it while Muta carries the burden. It's storytelling in a completely different tone from everything else, and it stands out because of it. From there, the magazine brings it back to the fans with You Decide, asking a simple question that actually cuts right to the core of wrestling itself. What matters more, power or science, strength or technique? It's interactive, but it's also philosophical because that debate defines eras, defines champions, defines what fans value. And then you get one of the anchors of the issue, the Ric Flair interview. This isn't just about titles. It's about pride, about survival, about coming back from something that nearly ended everything. The focus on Terry Funk and the damage done adds weight to it, and Flair comes across not just as a champion, but as someone fighting to prove he still belongs at the top. Right after that, the magazine shifts to the other side of the coin, with Hulk Hogan asking what sets him apart, why he continues to dominate, why he connects in a way no one else does. This is the establishment piece, the argument for why Hogan is still the standard, still the measuring stick, still the name that defines the era. And then you hit the most aggressive piece in the entire issue, the Eddie Elner column on Dusty Rhodes, and there's no soft way to put it. This is a takedown. The argument is clear that Dusty's transition into the WWF has turned him into something unrecognizable, something that doesn't fit, something that feels like an embarrassment compared to what he once was. The tone is harsh, direct, and completely unapologetic, and it stands in stark contrast to the respect shown elsewhere in the issue. And from there, the issue pulls back emotionally with the Chris Von Erich feature, following him as he prepares for his debut. This is legacy. This is pressure. This is expectation. And you can feel the weight of the family name in every part of it. It's not just another rookie story. It's something bigger, something tied to history. And then the private side of Larry Zbyszko gives you a completely different perspective, stepping away from the ring and into the life of a champion, what it means, how it feels, what it looks like when the spotlight isn't directly on. The back half of the issue rounds everything out with the house departments, the scouting report, breaking down talent, scoreboard giving results and structure, best bet, adding that prediction element, golden moment looking back at history. Info Center providing that fan service detail, ratings establishing hierarchy, and this just in closing things out with final updates. It's the full package, the kind of structure that makes these magazines feel complete. And through all of it, the ads and promotions, they never stop. Back issues, collector editions, video libraries, subscription offers, everything reinforcing that this isn't just something you read once, it's something you build, something you collect, something you stay connected to over time. What makes this issue stand out is how unfiltered it is. Hogan is praised, Flair is respected, Luger is questioned, Dusty is criticized, and the magazine doesn't try to balance those opinions evenly. It presents them as they are and lets you sit with them. And if you remember this era, or if you're discovering it now, this is one of those issues worth coming back to because every time you read it, something different stands out. Now, drop your thoughts. What did you agree with? What did you think they got completely wrong? See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.